As many of you are probably aware, the ranking system in Halo Infinite has been completely messed up ever since launch, and it's been a primary concern of players who obviously enjoy playing ranked. Well, today 343 announced that next week they're going to be rolling out some changes to the CSR system, and accompanied with that will be a rank reset. So in this video, we're going to go over what 343 talked about here in this post, talk about the rank reset, and also talk about some of my concerns, because this post doesn't actually address a lot of my major issues with the ranking system. So without any further ado, let's hop right in. So first things first, let's kind of talk about what 343 said, and then I'll give you my opinion about it at the end. So Unishick comes out here and talks about how they've been studying player ranks and the ranked matchmaking system very closely since launch, and they've been analyzing real matches since launch to be able to deploy some of the learnings from this data. The information they have been gathering is there to help the system become even better at assessing a player's skill and place them more accurately in the ranked ladder. They plan to continue to monitor this throughout the life of the game. This will be the first back-end skill update since the launch of the game, and they do plan to continuously do them throughout the life of Halo Infinite. But let's get into the actual details here. So obviously, like I said, there is going to be a ranked reset that is going to be next Tuesday, February 22nd. Your rank is going to get totally reset and you'll have to redo your placement matches. So one thing that they found in the original system, and this is something I agree with, is that the system was being overly generous. So the changes that they've made are going to help bring things closer in line to where they should be. They believe the rank system currently led to a full tier inflation of ranks, and therefore as a result, a lot of players should expect to end up a full tier lower than they currently are, i.e. diamond players will be in platinum, platinum players will be in gold, etc, after the rank reset and after you play some matches. So to do this, they will be changing a few aspects of the CSR system. Like they mentioned above, the system was placing players too highly, so players will most likely find themselves one tier lower after the update, and they just said to keep that in mind, that this is not an error in the new system, but rather an error in the old one. Another thing to keep in mind is that typically after your placement matches, you actually should end up a little bit lower than where the system actually believes you will be, and that's so that you can kind of grind your rank and improve it throughout the season. This works really well in tandem with a new season, but since they are resetting ranks in the middle of the season, this kind of buffer area of where it places you and where it thinks you will be is going to be a little bit shorter so that you don't have to climb as far after your placement matches. Another thing that they're changing is that previously Diamond 1 was the highest rank that a player could place after their placements, but much like before, since they're resetting ranks in the middle of the season, you'll be able to rank into Diamond 5 at the very high end. This isn't going to affect most players, but it does mean that Onyx players that the system believes are in Onyx will spend less time in Diamond since the system already knows they are likely an Onyx player. They believe that these targeted changes will help improve the ranked experience for players of all skill by providing more accurate, balanced, and fair matches. That said, this isn't the end of their updates to rank, and it's only the beginning, so they'll continue to gather feedback, gather data, and we'll see what happens in the future. So that's kind of the gist of what 343 gave us in terms of information, and let me be honest with you, I'm a little bit worried about this. Now don't get me wrong, I understand you can't come out and tell us everything about a ranking system, because if players have all that information, then it becomes easy to exploit. However, along with one of the main issues being overinflation, another main issue is that the rank system makes no sense. It heavily prioritizes kill-death ratio as opposed to win-loss, and even at that, sometimes it can seem kind of random as to how much CSR you gain and lose based on the matches you're being put into. They don't address any of that here, so maybe on the back end they've made some changes there, but from the information that 343 gave us, it seems like it's going to be the same ranked system, but just kind of slightly adjusted so that it ranks people a little bit lower, which don't get me wrong, I am a fan of that. I do think ranks like Diamond and Onyx should mean something, whereas currently they really don't, because anyone can get Diamond and most people can get Onyx, but I was really hoping for some more back-end meaty changes that would change the rank system so that it prioritized proper Halo play. Currently, like I said, it prioritizes kill-death ratio heavily, meaning that as long as you get a lot of kills, you really won't rank down at all, and you'll also fly through the ranked ladder, whereas if you're a player playing the objective and you're not getting 2.0 KDs or 1.5 KDs on a regular basis, you're only going to slowly gain CSR, and if you dare have a bad game and lose, it usually absolutely tanks your CSR. None of the information that they gave us seems to be doing anything to change this. I was really hoping we would get something that made a little bit more sense and maybe kind of had a baseline to how much you could go up or down in terms of after a win or a loss, with a little bit of a performance adder or a performance minus based on how you did in the game. But primarily in a team video game playing ranked, the goal of the rank system should be rewarding people for winning games, not necessarily just getting a ton of kills, not playing the objective objective and playing for stats, but rather teaching people that playing properly and playing good Halo will lead you to more victories in the long run, and therefore that's what you should do. I really hope there's more to this rank change than what meets the eye here, because like I mentioned, I don't think this really solves any of the issues other than now there'll be less Diamond and Onyx players, which at the end of the day, sure, that is helpful and that is something I'm on board with, but I was really hoping for some meaningful changes here, and unless 343 just didn't want to talk about them, it doesn't appear that we're getting any of them. Another thing that this post doesn't address at all, and I'm also pretty worried about, is the fact that your social MMR and your ranked MMR are heavily tied together. People like GameSager and other people have done heavy testing, and they found that you can completely throw your social games and feed games, then go into a ranked match and get easier lobbies. You can also make a brand new fresh account, slay out against bots for 10 or so games, hop into ranked, and after a couple games you'll be playing high Onyx players. I was really hoping that they would address some of that, at least mention that they're kind of looking into it. Like I was talking about earlier with all the kind of backend stuff, I get why they can't come out and necessarily tell us all the changes they're making, because then that makes it easy to exploit, but I feel like the simple words, something like, we also made changes on the backend to the system and how it determines how much CSR you gain and lose, and also how your ranked MMR is affected by other game modes, would have been vague enough, but also enough information so players knew they at least looked at it and addressed it. But like we talked about earlier, all I can tell that they really did here was kind of move that bell curve to the left. Regardless though, I am interested to try out the rank system, and I'll definitely hold full judgment obviously until I get in there and play it, but I really hope that there's more to it than just moving the bell curve slightly to the left. As always guys, if you enjoyed the video, you know what to do. Let me know in the comments how you feel about these rank changes, or just how you feel about the rank system in general. I know a lot of people currently are pretty frustrated with it, and I don't know if this really solves any of those frustrations. Other than that, follow me over on Twitch. I stream Halo Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. You can also follow me over on Twitter and Instagram. And with that said, I'll see you all next time.